Let's talk about what it really means to transform a company with AI. And I mean, really transform it. We're going way past just buying some flashy new software. This is all about understanding how to build a genuinely smarter organization from the ground up. And it's for anyone who wants to stay ahead of the curve. So let's get into the recipe for success. So I want to start by asking you this, and it's a really important question. Is your company just using AI? Or is it on the path to becoming AI empowered? And trust me, there is a world of difference. Using AI can be a small, tactical move, but becoming AI empowered, that's a deep, strategic shift that changes, well, pretty much everything about how a business operates. So, what do we actually mean by that? Well, Bob Slovic, who's the chief technologist over at Virtualization Options LLC, he calls this an AI-empowered organization, or AIEO for short. This isn't a company that just bolts on a few AI tools. No, this is an organization that weaves AI into its very DNA. It means every big decision gets sharpened by data-driven insights, and the whole culture is built to learn and adapt constantly. You're moving from a company that does business with AI to a company that does business as an intelligent organization. All right, so to cook something like this up, you're gonna need a recipe. And you know, any great recipe starts with getting the right ingredients. For an AI-empowered organization, success really rests on a trifecta. Three essential components that are the absolute foundation for everything else you're going to do. First up, data. This is the bedrock, it's everything. Just think about it for a second. You'd never trust a doctor who is working with messy, inaccurate patient records, right? Of course not. Well, it's the exact same thing with AI. It needs clean, high-quality, reliable data to work its magic. And that means you have to be proactive, actively cleansing your data to get rid of errors, and setting up smart systems so the right people can get the right data securely and easily. Okay, next ingredient, talent. I mean, you can have the most advanced high-tech kitchen on the planet, but it's totally useless without talented chefs, right? You need those data scientists and AI specialists for sure, but here's the secret sauce. It's not just about hiring from the outside. It's about upskilling the people you already have. You probably have incredible talent hiding in plain sight, just waiting to be developed. And that brings us to our third ingredient, infrastructure. This is the kitchen itself. It's the technical setup, the tools you need to actually do the work. We're talking cloud computing for massive power and storage, specialized hardware like GPUs, which are basically these supercharged processors designed for AI, and the platforms you'll use to build your models. And here's the crucial part. It has to be scalable. It has to be ready to grow with you, whether you're serving a small team or the entire company. Okay, so we've got our core ingredients: data, talent, and infrastructure. But, just throwing them all into a bowl isn't going to get you a masterpiece. You need the recipe, the method. And that brings us to strategy and culture. Your AI strategy can't just be some document that sits on a shelf collecting dust. It has to be a living document, something that evolves and ensures every single AI project you take on is directly tied to your core business goals. And just as important, maybe even more so, is the culture. You have to build an environment where people feel safe to experiment, where it's okay to try things and learn from what doesn't work. That kind of innovation has to be championed from the very top. So you've got the ingredients, you've got the recipe. What does success actually look or taste like when it's finally served? Let's check out some real-world examples of AI-empowered organizations and the absolutely incredible results they're seeing. First example, customer service. Now, one company put in some AI-powered chatbots, but these are not your typical frustrating robotic chatbots. They used advanced natural language processing that was trained on huge amounts of data. This meant the bots could actually understand the intent behind what a customer was asking, which led to a genuinely helpful, natural conversation. And the result? A 20% jump in customer satisfaction scores. Now think about that. That isn't just a number on a slide. That is a direct reflection of customer loyalty and how people feel about your brand. It's a total win-win. Customers get their problems solved instantly,
and your human agents are freed up to tackle the really complex issues that require creativity and empathy. Let's look at another one, the supply chain. This is such a complex area, right? Just a massive, tangled web of moving parts. But AI can cut right through that chaos. It can analyze huge data sets. We're talking everything from sales history to market trends, even weather patterns, to predict what you're going to need in the future with an accuracy that goes way beyond a human's gut feeling.
And for one company, the bottom line result of this was an 18% reduction in what they spent on inventory. That is a massive efficiency gain. Just imagine what a business can do with all that freed up cash. You could reinvest it in R&D, hire more people. It makes the whole operation more profitable and more resilient.
And our last case study is in product development. AI can just put the entire life cycle on fast forward. It can analyze market research to spot opportunities nobody else has seen, help brainstorm new ideas, and even run thousands of virtual simulations to test designs before you ever build a single physical thing. This strategy helped one company slash its time to market by 25%. In today's world, that kind of speed is the ultimate weapon. It's the difference between being the one who sets the trend and the one who's always trying to catch up. It's how you become a leader.
Now, all these results are amazing, but let's get real for a minute. This journey isn't always a walk in the park. You know, every great chef has had a few kitchen nightmares. And this kind of transformation has its own set of common hurdles that you really need to be ready for. Let's just tackle the biggest one head on: the fear that AI is coming for everyone's jobs. The truth is, this isn't about replacement, it's about augmentation. The real power of AI is that it frees us up from all the boring, repetitive, mundane tasks. It lets us focus our uniquely human brains on the hard stuff: complex problem solving, creativity, strategy. It's about working smarter, not harder. And of course, there are other roadblocks. You're always going to find some resistance to change. That's just human nature. You overcome that with clear communication and real support. Then you have to deal with data silos, where different departments hoard their own data and don't share. You've got to break those walls down. And finally, there's the talent gap. Finding and keeping AI experts is a global race, which means you have to build a culture where the best people actually want to work. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground here. We've gone through the ingredients, the method, the amazing results, and even the potential kitchen nightmares. So let's bring it all home and boil it down into one final actionable recipe for success. So here it is, your 3-step recipe. First, you have to build that rock-solid foundation by getting your trifecta, your data, talent, and infrastructure all working together. Second, develop a crystal-clear strategy that ties every single AI project back to what your business is actually trying to achieve. And third, and this might be the most important one, foster a culture of innovation that empowers your people to experiment, to learn, and to grow right alongside the AI. Ultimately, if you take one thing away from this, let it be this: becoming an AI-empowered organization is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about seeing AI not as some quick fix or a magic bullet, but as a deep, long-term investment in the entire future of your organization, a future that weaves together technology, strategy, and people. And that leaves us with one final thought. We've talked a lot about what this all means for organizations, but it brings up a pretty fascinating question for each of us as individuals, doesn't it? As this technology becomes more a part of our world, it's worth thinking about: how will AI change the way that we work, learn, and interact with everything around us? Something to ponder. Thanks for watching The Explainer.